Okay, big fight coming up for Paul Felder. He takes on Dan Hooker at UFC Auckland. In just, what is it, Paul, 3 weeks' time?
Less. This weekend is 2 weeks.
Shit, man. You're looking, obviously, a little bit pissed off before we came on air here. You're finding it tough again. I see you're watching the Food Channel there with your chef, Ian Larios.
Yeah, man, I'd be doing that whether the weight cut was going great or whether it was killing me. Everything is, I mean, I'm the lowest I've been going into this portion of camp in years, so that's not an issue. It's just, the training camp's been long, it's hard, training 5-round fights, and I'm ready to just get there and do it, man. I'm no talk, no BS, no who's taking it personal, who's not. I don't give a shit about any of that anymore. I just want to get there and make weight and fight.
Yeah, you mentioned, beef, shit talk, all that. Dan has seemed to take a few of your posts pretty personally into heart. I think it was the one slap a hooker, the post you put up. He's saying it's disrespected his family. He said he's going to fold you like a deck chair. There's been a lot of talk. You've really sort of riled him up ahead of this one. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, man, I who cares, right? So he's riled up before a fist fight. Well, I hope so. I mean, he can take it personal, not personal. It was never my intention to insult anyone's family. I don't know his family. He took some comments that they said about going down there and trying to knock him out. Of course, that's my goal and my intention to go down there and win the fight. He can take it personally. I don't take anything he's saying personally. My eyes are on the task at hand, and that's getting the job done on February 23rd. And at the end of the day, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if we're mad at each other, like each other, don't like each other. We're professional fighters. We're going to fight each other. We're trying to hurt each other no matter what. So, I'm going in there like a ninja, man. I'm not trying to think about that stuff. I'm not trying to let emotions get involved. I've been very cerebral about this training camp and just getting in the best shape of my life.
Well, you felt slightly disrespected at when you went out to Auckland in the stare down. What was said after? What happened there?
Well, so, I mean, I knew, we're facing off with each other in the main event. I knew things could be tense, but, there was a little shoulder bump and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, you want to talk about disrespecting somebody, you're going to shoulder bump me when we're doing a face-off for the media 14 weeks out from our fight. It's like, what am I going to do? Bump you back, push you, punch you there? It's like, I can't do that. I want this fight to happen. So I think he's just doing what he's got to do to get himself riled up for this fight. It doesn't bother me, and that didn't bother me. You're going to bump me. I'm by myself in Auckland, New Zealand, in your home city, and you're going to give me a little shoulder bump. It's like, I got nobody there. I got no teammates. I got nobody that has my back. So I just laughed it off and, went on my way. I had a good time down there. The city's beautiful. The people were amazing. Obviously they're rooting for Hooker. They want their guy to win, but I'm excited to get down there and do work and then eat their food.
Yeah, you relish that kind of opportunity. I know you've been out in Brazil, obviously, against Ronaldo in the past. Like, it's no issue for you going into his backyard to go and throw down there. It's not going to intimidate you at all. It's sort of, you almost relish that, I feel, at this point in your career. No?
Yeah, man, these are opportunities you can't turn down. It's a main event. It's what I want. It's against a top-ranked guy. And at the end of the day, these are the stories I'll tell my daughter. I mean, when you were 4.5 years old, I flew down to Auckland, New Zealand to fight a Kiwi in his home turf to make us money and to become the best in the world. It's like, this is shit movies are made of. You know what I mean? That I live for these moments. The adversity is what makes us stronger. So I have no problem going to somebody's country or their city. their friends aren't fighting for them. Israel Adesanya is not fighting for him. His City Kickboxing is not fighting for him. It's me and Dan Hooker. Same as Duke Rufus and my teammates aren't fighting for me. It's two dudes in there with a referee making sure everything goes according to plan. That's it.
Right, you look at the styles, and interestingly enough, obviously you're coming off the win against Edson, that rematch, really impressive performance down in Abu Dhabi. He's fought Edson as well, and like looking at that fight, and I watched it back again, he took a serious beating in that fight. It probably could have been stopped by his corner or stopped a little bit earlier. Heroic effort from Dan in that fight, obviously lost in the end. But do you maybe take solace? Is that sort of the template to beat Dan? Because you fought Edson before, have you maybe an upper hand there in that sort of element of throwing down against him?
Man, I don't even think about that, because MMA is one of those sports where so and so can beat so and so, and it doesn't matter. I have a lot of people asking me that question, and obviously they would, right? That's the obvious fight to look at, and obviously I've looked at it, and I called that fight. I was there for that one. But my style and Edson's style are totally different, right? I mean, the way I do my Muay Thai style and the way Edson fights are just completely different. I have much more of a pressure elbow game, where Edson sits outside, has faster kicks than I do. Really, all I take from that fight is how tough Dan can be, and how hard he can be to finish. So that's why I took that into consideration more than anything going into this fight, and how much I've got to be able to put my foot on the gas and keep it going the whole time, and be able to throw punches, kicks, elbows for 25 solid minutes. So that's really what me and Duke have focused on. And we've saw some things in there, and we've studied film and picked some things out that we think we'll be able to take advantage of. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit back and be like, well, Edson beat him, and then I had a close fight. Edson also beat me. Just because he didn't finish me doesn't mean, he didn't get that win. So I'm not trying to look too much into that kind of stuff.
It's a fight, I think, that excites everyone, including yourself, in terms of styles. He's a kickboxer, you're a Muay Thai guy. A lot of people can't see this going the distance. I certainly can't anyway. Do you feel that way? Is it about you as well, maybe making a massive statement to sort of kick on into that top 5 and get one of those bigger names?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the goal, is to go in there and try to get the finish, or spend the entire 25 minutes trying to do so, and do it impressively enough where the UFC is going to look at that performance from me and say, okay, now, let's give you a top 5. Let's give you somebody that's going to put you in title contention. Otherwise, I'm going to sit and wait. I'm not trying to take anything after a win over a guy as good as Dan Hooker and go down the rankings. So this is definitely my chance to sell myself towards that title shot. And I'm not saying that's going to be next. I know how stacked this division is, but I'm saying a win in Auckland definitely sets me up for a fight that could get me there. Okay,
kicking on from that, Paul, you mentioned there, obviously, if you get a big win, an impressive win here, it's going to knock you on, and there is sort of fights at the moment that are booked. There's guys that said they're not fighting, they're going to sit out. We've seen Conor McGregor obviously win. You were commentating on that fight. I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. Obviously, what happened at the octagon, what Conor said. But is that something that you can sort of see happening down the line if you get a big win here? Because Conor's talked about this season. We've obviously Tony and Khabib matched up. That's not till April. There's other guys around there at the top of the division that, there's a bit of longevity going on. If Conor wants to do this season, you're a name that's obviously caught his attention from what he said to you in the octagon, with Joe Rogan, I believe it was. What were your thoughts on what he said to you? Because it sort of came a little bit out of left field.
Yeah. If in fact he was talking to me about being the fool at the desk, then it definitely came out of left field. I wasn't ready for that one. But if he's talking about me, that's what I'm talking about. I want that. I want this guy to think I'm on his radar. And if he thinks I'm an easy fight, and he wants to get some more brush-up fights before he gets one of these big fights, I'm a willing, ready dance partner, and I'll be wearing my red panties all over the place if he wants me to. Let's go. I'm not going to sit here and try to be one of those guys that's going to call him out and do all this stuff. I'm realistic. But if that's something down the line that ends up happening, I've obviously got to get a little more exposure and keep pushing myself in the social media and in the eyes of the fans, because some of these fans of his are just ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Agree, yeah.
It's like, if you're not Conor McGregor, they don't know who the hell you are. It's like, what do you expect them to fight?
Yeah, they're Conor McGregor fans. They're not MMA fans. That's what we call them here in Ireland. We know the drill, Paul. But Paul, listen to me. Was that aimed at you? Because it is interesting, because usly Kamaru Usman was there cage side. He referenced him. He referenced Jorge Masvidal. And then it was over to you. Was there anything else said in that confrontation when he was leaving the octagon or anything like that?
I talked about it before. I swear me and John Anik and other people witnessed it. When he beat Cowboy, he walked around the cage. And he looked, I swear to God, he looked right at me and said, "Fuck you." So, unless he's looking at somebody behind me, then I don't know. But unless I'm seeing things.
Is it a compliment to you?
Huh?
Is it a compliment to you that he's maybe, feeling threatened? Maybe he can see that fight happening down the line?
Well, I don't think it's I see what you're saying, yeah. I wouldn't say it's a compliment, but it's definitely some recognition that you want the top guys in your division, noticing you, and for him to say "fuck you" to me and take that as a thumbs up. I literally smiled and looked at John Anik. I was like, "Did you just? What did he say?"
So you obviously weren't expecting it.
No, I didn't think they do whatever. You know what I mean? You don't assume the biggest star in MMA who's been out for a while, he knows who the hell you are, but he must be reading something online.
Yeah, there was an interview you did, or a couple of them. But it's interesting to note. Anyway, I thought it was a sort of a fascinating element, and listen, it is. It's something that could happen down the line. You go out there, you get a win. Dan gets a win. Obviously, you guys are 5 and 6. Conor's looking for a fight, so it's something there that could happen. But listen to me. I got to ask you about your good teammate there, Bilal Muhammad, and the Paulie Paul videos. What's the crack there? We haven't seen any in a couple of weeks. I'm getting pissed off.
I know. He's been slacking. We were talking about collaborating recently, so we'll have to try to do that before I leave for New Zealand. Dude, I don't know. I started doing all those food vlog type videos with me kind of documenting my diet and prepping for camp and talking about my nutritionist, and he just took it and just started going in on me in the most hilarious way, and just adding more and more ridiculousness to it, adding wigs to it, adding Tony Ferguson into the mix. And the first one I saw, I almost peed my pants, and I'm not even exaggerating. I was laughing so hard because I didn't expect it. He didn't tell me he was doing it. I just had my teammate Craig was like, "Hey, have you seen Bilal's post?" And I thought it was something serious at first, so I went on social media, I went on Instagram or Twitter, whichever one it was, and I saw him doing the yogurt in the frying pan unopened with like some spinach. Oh my God, I was dying.
They were absolutely brilliant. Guys, check them out if you haven't seen them. They're absolute quality. Bilal's doing a great job there. But listen to me, right? Just before we wrap it up, I know you're under time pressure there, Paul. I've got to ask you in relation to Duke and your relationship there with the guys. I saw a post from your manager, Brian Butler, online yesterday. Just between you and Duke, it looked something like it was a little bit more personal, but maybe, I don't know if Brian was supposed to share, but we all saw it. It just sort of shows you're in a good place now in your career at the moment, and obviously we've seen the momentum. Just talk to me about what Duke and yourself exchanged there via text.
Man, he's just been... the fighters get all the credit. Sometimes coaches get some credit, but Duke is one of those guys that really goes out of his way to not be in the spotlight, to not get the recognition that he deserves. So for me, it was just one of those things. We had a really grindy, intense pad session, and I'm just one of the guys he's holding these pads for. There's monsters in our gym that are just beating the crap out of his body every night on the pads. And I could tell he was a little worn out, and I was just like, man, I just want him to know that I really appreciate what he's done for me and what he's doing for the team, and how dedicated he is. And yeah, you're right. It wasn't ever intended to be a post. But I guess they were, Duke was talking to my manager, and Brian, being who he is, wanted to just put it out there. But yeah, we've had such a good relationship, and it's just getting stronger every single fight camp. And I know I say that every time, but every time I get a little stronger and we get a little more familiar with each other. And this is quite a few fights that we've worked together now. And this is a fight Duke wanted. He likes this matchup. He thrives off of these kind of.
Are you getting a little bit of emotion there, Paul? Am I seeing emotion from the Irish Dragon?
Yeah, man. As I get towards the end of these camps, I really do start to. I've been away from home, and it gets rough, man. But I got such a good that really pushed me. And I feel like I've become like an older brother figure here at the gym too, with some of these young guys. And they try to follow my footsteps and see how hard I'm training and do the same workouts I'm doing, do the same amount of rounds. And it's crazy to kind of be in that position in my career where these young guys are kind of looking at me, and I've accepted that role in this gym, just like I did with Cowboy. And I feel like now it's my turn to kind of pay it forward to some of these youngsters.
Right, so just before I let you go, are we going to get a finish here, kick on into the rest of the year, and look for that big fight or push towards that title?
Fuck, man, who knows? You know how I am. I'm not a guy that's going to put predictions out there. The only thing I will ever tell anybody, and I tell you this every time, is I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight my balls up until that fight is over, and he knows it. And whether it's personal, not personal, whether there's bad blood or beef, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go in there as a martial artist, and I'm going to try to be a ninja in there and get the job done. Just
one more, just in terms of when you're getting out to Auckland, when are you going to leave and get out there to acclimatise?
I'm leaving the next Wednesday, and so I'll be there early Friday morning all the way until the fight.
So brilliant, you've 10 days. It makes a big difference because you did it the last time. I know you took... you paid for your own flight as well. Have you done that again this time to get like first class out there?
No, things are a little different this time, but it's just getting out there early, and on the way back we'll see about bumping things up. But me and my team, we got a nice Airbnb out there the whole time. I'm not staying in a hotel. I'm not going to be distracted by anything. We got a big 3-story, 3-bedroom townhouse we'll be staying in the whole time. So that's where I kind of took the time to really invest in me and the team. Everybody's going to be comfortable. My guy Ian can really cook. We have a beautiful kitchen there. So we're going to just get some sun. I'm going to try to get a little less pacey than I am right now leading up to the fight. But let's be honest, Niall, I'm not going to be tan.
Paul, what's the story with your food? I've noticed you've been getting some like proper meals. I've never seen you eat this well. According to your Instagram, or you've never probably eaten this well going into a fight. Like you're eating lamb shanks and all sorts.
I'm having red meat every now and then. Yeah, we had some good steak the other night.
What's been the difference?
My guy. Well, having him living with me. I mean, Ian is literally right over here right now, just chilling.
What's up, Ian?
So every meal and he sees every single workout, right? So he knows the amount of work that we're putting in or not putting in, or how much rest I need, how many carbohydrates I need versus the fat. Did I take some big shots in sparring? Do we need more omegas? There's a lot of stuff he does on my pre-workouts, post-workout shakes. He's working out with me. We just went and swam, did some fasted swimming this morning. We're going to go to jiu-jitsu now. He's at every pad session. I'm with Duke, so we know how many calories I'm burning, what to put back in me, and my weight's the lowest it has ever been going into this point in training camp.
Paul, it's always a pleasure. Looking forward to this fight. It's an absolute cracker for the fans and the media alike. Always appreciate the time, my friend. Hopefully see you in London or see you soon.
You'll definitely see me in London, my friend.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, sorry I had to rush you, man.